The Indiana Fever, Kelsey Money Mitch, put him in a ditch. Lexie Hole taking over. Ari McDonald and her farm giving me assists, giving me steals. 5 assists for Ari McDonald. Oh yeah, we're ready. We are ready. The Indiana Fever beat the Washington Mystics in the first game of the Commissioner's Cup, 85-76.
The Washington Mystics probably thought they had broken the Indiana Fever after roughing up Sophie Cunningham in the preseason and then embarrassing them with a dominant win on May 28th. With Caitlin Clark injured and the team written off by just about everyone, it looked like the Fever were finished.
For both of you, just getting your first win after a 3-game losing streak, how did it feel?
I mean, I'm just proud of our group for staying with it. Obviously, we can't control injuries, we can't control any of that, but I think we had 2 really good practices this week, and to be able to come out and get a win after that, I'm just proud of us for fighting, and also just really proud of Ari for coming out and providing just some incredible minutes, 27 minutes, and she was ready. She stayed ready, and we needed every single one of those, and just really proud of the group today.
But here's what the Mystics didn't see coming. Sometimes when you knock a team down, they don't stay down. They rise up and come back swinging even harder. And on June 3rd, with their backs against the wall and their superstar still sidelined, the Fever responded with one of the most satisfying revenge games you'll ever witness. Show the team your support by commenting, "I've got the Fever" below. Let's go.
Fever down, you know what's coming. Bow, bow, bow. On to the next. Woo! Feels good, baby. Woo! Making them good, kind of baby. That's a good-looking dog. Woo! Happy days.
What really made this revenge so sweet goes back to the last time these two teams met. Picture this. Washington walked into CFG Bank Arena and beat the Fever 83-77. But it wasn't just the score that stung, it was the way they did it. The Mystics played with a cocky attitude, treating Indiana like some rookie squad that didn't even belong on the same court. Their whole vibe screamed, "We own you."
Indiana Fever lose to a young Washington Mystics team, 83-77. Look lost without Caitlin Clark.
I'll say it. Fire Stephanie White. Oh boy.
The disrespect didn't start with that game. It began way before. Remember what they did to Sophie Cunningham during the preseason? The Mystics bullied her like she was a nobody, shoving her around and treating the Fever like they were nothing more than punching bags for their own amusement. That kind of behavior set the tone for everything that followed.
And that's Kiki Arafin, and I gotta tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
Then came the injury that changed everything. Caitlin Clark went down with a left quad strain on May 26th against the New York Liberty. And just like that, the basketball world wrote the Fever's obituary. Everyone said they were done without their superstar. 2 weeks out, maybe more. And things only got worse for Indiana. After Clark went down, they couldn't catch a break. First, the Liberty beat them. Then, the Mystics embarrassed them on May 28th. And to top it off, the Connecticut Sun piled on with another loss on May 31st. 3 straight defeats. 3 games of the same narrative. The Fever are nothing without Caitlin Clark.
This was a absolute embarrassment. An embarrassing performance from the Indiana Fever.
The Mystics probably looked at their schedule and had June 3rd circled as an easy win. And why wouldn't they? Indiana was falling apart. Their best player was in street clothes. The team looked lost, confused, and completely outmatched every time they hit the floor. But that's exactly what made the setup perfect for revenge. Washington expected another punching bag, the same broken squad they had just humiliated days earlier. They walked into that building thinking they were about to feast on a wounded animal. What they didn't know was that the Fever had spent those dark days after the losing streak doing something the Mystics never saw coming. They weren't breaking down, they were building up. And what they built would make Washington regret every single moment of disrespect they had dished out. With Caitlin Clark sidelined, the question was, who would step up to lead this revenge mission? The answer came from someone who had been Clark's backcourt partner over the past year, Kelsey Mitchell, the heart and soul of the franchise for nearly a decade. Mitchell suddenly found herself carrying the weight of an entire team on her shoulders while their star player watched from the sidelines.
Beaver had the first 4. Washington has rattled off 8 in a row. Indiana's missed 5 straight shots. Mitchell catch and shoot and ends it with a 3.
Great screen on the baseline by Bonner. She's the point guard of the future for them.
Mitchell turns the corner, gets inside and lays it in.
Look at Mitchell. I'm telling you, Pat, what am I going to say about Mitchell?
Mitchell knew exactly what this game meant. She had lived through the embarrassment just days earlier, watching the Mystics treat her team like they didn't belong. The pressure was massive. Everyone expected the Fever to collapse without their superstar, but Mitchell had to prove that Indiana was more than just one player. From the opening moments, it was clear the team needed someone to step up and take control. She looked around the court and knew it had to be her. She had played pro ball for years, but this felt different. This was her moment to lead when it mattered most. And here's where Mitchell's mindset made all the difference. She wasn't chasing stats or spotlight. She was chasing redemption for her teammates. The Mystics had built their defense to shut her down, knowing she'd be the main threat without Clark. Mitchell had to dig deep, read their schemes, and find a way to break through.
All of that comes into play, and Indiana's done a nice job feeding the post.
Mitchell off the screen, finds some space. Oh, it's a much-needed 3. McDonald trying to use that Boston screen. McDonald inside, Mitchell hangs, lays it in, and a foul! Kelsey Mitchell trying to put the finishing touches on this one.
Mitchell came out aggressive, attacking the basket early and forcing Washington to react. When the Mystics doubled her, she didn't panic. She moved the ball smartly, finding open teammates and keeping the offense flowing. And then came the threes. Her shooting from beyond the arc turned lethal, knocking down shot after shot while the Mystics scrambled to adjust their defense, unable to keep up with her rhythm and poise.
Kelsey Mitchell breaking out of her slump a little bit, making some big plays down the stretch. Also something that Kelsey Mitchell did late in that game, she got hit by McDonald with a pass. She moved without the ball. And Kelsey's the kind of player you can give her the ball and let her cook, clear out, but also it's going to make her tough to guard when she is able to be active without the ball in her hands. So that was a good sign, I think, for the Fever's offense and some of that motion offense that Stephanie White is trying to instill.
The veteran guard finished with an efficient 7 of 14 from the field, including 4 of 7 from deep. But the real magic came in the fourth quarter when Washington tried to rally. That's when Mitchell stepped up and sealed the game with a clutch three-point play that extended Indiana's lead. The Mystics had no answer for her when it mattered most. She proved that the Fever weren't a one-woman show. They had another elite scorer ready to rise. After the game, her teammate Ari McDonald summed it up perfectly. She did everything amazingly and with such grace. In that moment, Mitchell showed everyone what true leadership under pressure really looks like.
Kelsey Money Mitch, oh yeah. Take us home, Kels. Take us home. 24 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. It feels good to be coming here to you after this game.
What made Mitchell's performance even more special was that she didn't just score, she created opportunities for everyone else. Coach Stephanie White highlighted that the team racked up 21 assists on 30 made field goals. Mitchell's trust in her teammates and her unselfish play opened up the entire offense, transforming the Fever into a squad capable of beating anyone. Sometimes the sweetest revenge comes from the players no one expected. While Kelsey Mitchell grabbed the spotlight, 2 other Fever stars delivered the knockout blows that left Washington stunned. Lexie Hull and Ari McDonald turned this game into something the Mystics never saw coming.
Lexie Hull, who continues to shine. I mean, Lexie Hull has just been terrific this season. She is shooting the ball at an unbelievable clip. Talk about drawing fouls, talk about energy, talk about plus minus not being a deceiving stat. That is the case with Lexie Hull, who's plus 19 in this game, and it feels completely accurate, right? I mean, she's shooting 57% from 3 on the season going in, 52% from the field. I believe that's going in as well, but regardless, you get the point. Shooting the ball well.
Let's start with Lexie Hull. While she brought her usual hustle, Offensively, she was completely invisible in the first half, 0 points. The Mystics probably thought they had her figured out. At halftime, she sat on the bench knowing her team needed more. But Hull stayed ready, kept grinding, and waited patiently for her moment to strike.
Lexie Hull, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Lexie Hull, taking it off the dribble, taking it off the dribble, reverse layup. Lexie Hull, what got into you today, Lexie? What got into you in that third quarter? Holy smokes. Lexie Hull. Folk, dude, Lexie Hull taking Sonia Citrone off the dribble. Yeah, she's like that. Lexie Hull, reverse layup. Okay, Lexie, go on with your bad self. Go on with your bad self.
But that's when the magic happened. Hull came out firing in the second half, going 5 of 6 from the field just in the third quarter. All 14 of her points came after halftime. She also grabbed 6 rebounds and dished out 4 assists, transforming into the player the Fever desperately needed. And here's where it gets wild with Aari McDonald. The Fever had signed her on an emergency hardship contract just days before this game. Think about that pressure. Clark was injured, Sophie Cunningham was out, Sydney Coulson was sidelined, and McDonald had to fly into Indianapolis, study film on the plane, learn the plays with the coaching staff, and then get thrown straight into the biggest revenge game of the season.
Dealing with a bit of a personnel problem when Clark goes down, and then Coulson goes down, and then obviously Cunningham goes down to the point where even without Clark, they didn't really have much of a capable backup, and then the backup goes down. By the way, shout out to Sydney Coulson, who actually played well in this game, really banged up, taking it on the chin for the Fever. That's another thing that McDonald did well also, is put her body on the line. You know, she doesn't have a guaranteed spot, so you got to give her respect for that.
The risk was huge. You don't just throw a brand new player into a high-stakes game like this. McDonald had experience with Atlanta and Los Angeles, but she'd never worn a Fever uniform before. She had to quickly learn her teammates' tendencies while also trying to shut down the same Mystic squad that had just embarrassed Indiana. And McDonald was just as impressive as Mitchell and Hull. She played 27 minutes, scored 7 points, and handed out 5 assists. But the best part? In her first 8 minutes, she drew 3 offensive fouls, turning up the defensive intensity and disrupting everything Washington tried to run.
Let's not leave out Aari McDonald. 2 for 7, 1 for 5 from 3. Maybe not shoot threes, but Aari McDonald, 5 assists, 0 turnovers. Welcome to Indiana, Aari. Welcome to 3 steals. One of them was a steal and score. Folks, you know what they say, first impressions mean everything. And Aari McDonald, first impression? I'm calling up Ronald right now. I'm calling up Ronald McDonald right now. I need a Mick Steals meal. I need a Mick Assist meal. I need a Mick Hustle meal. Aari McDonald, it feels good having a point guard that can dribble and not turn it over and get flustered when they see pressure. Oh, it feels good. It feels good.
Hull said after the game, "We needed her out there. She was huge on defense, huge drawing those offensive fouls. I'm just so proud of her, and I'm happy she's here." Mitchell called McDonald the ultimate pro for learning the plays so quickly and making an impact on both ends of the floor. The Mystics had no answer for either player. They expected the same broken team from May 28th, but instead got Hull scoring at will and McDonald wreaking havoc on defense. Coach Stephanie White called McDonald's performance exactly what the team needed. What if losing Caitlin Clark for the short term turned out to be the best thing for this team this year? This win against Washington revealed something much bigger than just revenge. The Fever learned they could trust each other without relying on one superstar to carry the load. Every player on that court realized they belonged in clutch moments.
Give credit to the players. We won because of the players. We won because of Aari, because of Lexie, because of Kelsey, because of Dantis, because of AB. We won because of them. They played a solid game. This is how we should be beating teams, even without Caitlin Clark, folks. Even without Caitlin Clark. And hopefully, right here we go. Now that Aari McDonald is here, who would have thought we would be saying this early in the season? Hopefully, now that Aari McDonald is here, somebody to take pressure off Kelsey Mitchell. Is that what we needed, Kelsey? Is that all you needed? You just needed a point guard? Say no more. A point guard that can dribble and push it? Say no more.
Coach Stephanie White saw exactly what she wanted. The team recorded 21 assists on 30 made field goals. That's how we want to play. That's how we have to play to be successful, White said after the game. The ball moved around the court like magic. Players made the extra pass instead of forcing shots, creating better opportunities for everyone. Kelsey Mitchell found her leadership voice during this stretch. She wasn't just scoring 23 points, she was directing traffic on offense and making sure everyone stayed involved. Mitchell discovered she could be the veteran presence this young team desperately needed, proving she belonged in that role when the lights shined brightest.
Our ability to drive and get angles and be able to find and touch the paint with 2 feet and either, score and/or get these threes that you're talking about, it kind of just serves to everyone kind of getting a rhythm and everybody finding a way to kind of be impacted through the game. And I think the more that we do touch the paint, the more that we do get drives and play inside out through AB and Didi and them like that, I think it just kind of, you're going to see more open up for us. And so I just think we got to give ourselves some grace, but stay patient.
Lexie Hull found something even more valuable. She discovered her clutch gene during that second-half explosion. All 14 of her points came when the game mattered the most. Hull learned she could take over entire quarters and shift the momentum of games. That kind of confidence doesn't just vanish when Clark returns.
A big focus for us is 0.5 basketball. Get the ball, do something with it. Either drive, pass, shoot, and just trying to make those right reads and make them quick. And I think that helps just when our spacing's good, those reads are way easier. And I think that's really what it comes down to. I think our team just played really well together, and we got to spots and we made the extra pass. And we shot, I don't remember what they said, but a lot of our points were off of assists, and that's all we can really ask for a team. So just really, again, I'm just so happy with the outcome of the game and how everyone felt out there. It was fun.
Then there's Arie McDonald, who solved the Fever's biggest problem this season, point guard depth. With Sydney Colson struggling to meet expectations, McDonald signed her emergency contract and immediately proved she belonged. In her debut, she scored 7 points, dished out 5 assists, and notched 3 steals that disrupted Washington's offense. Coach White called her defensive intensity exactly what the team needed. McDonald's ability to integrate so quickly shows the Fever can add talent and make it work right away. That kind of depth becomes even more dangerous once Caitlin Clark returns to the lineup.
Unbelievable job of coming in yesterday and really knowing the plays. Kind of like somebody said in the locker room, we feel like you know the plays more than us, or she just kind of was on it. And I think it just goes to serve to show what pros are and how they're supposed to operate. And she did everything amazingly and with such grace. And I think for us, we could use what she brings us to the table offensively and defensively. She can guard the ball. She can get us all positioned to get shots. And I think more importantly, she's fun to play with. So I think we get a collective great guard all the way around.
Here's what makes this so exciting for 2025. Every player now knows they can step up when called upon. Mitchell knows she can lead, Hull knows she can take over games, and McDonald knows she can run the offense and lock down on defense. The role players have turned into legitimate weapons. Now imagine what happens when this newfound team identity combines with Clark's return. The Fever won't be just a one-player team anymore. They'll have multiple players capable of hurting opponents on any night. Teams can't just focus on stopping Clark when Aaliyah Boston, Mitchell, Hull, and a battle-tested bench all pose serious threats. The team that learned to win together is about to get their superstar back, laying the foundation for something truly special in Indianapolis.
We did a good job of trying to kind of stay in it, because when people score on you, you don't know how to stop it at times. And I think that we just stayed really, really resilient, because it could have went the opposite way. We would have had another conversation, but I think we did a good job of staying grounded when they did make that run. And I believe that our team trusts one another in order to make and get stopped. So it's a collective effort.
This 85-76 victory changed everything for the Fever's championship hopes. They proved they're not just Caitlin Clark plus 4 other players. They're a real team that can win when it matters most. Mitchell showed she can lead, Hull proved she can take over games, and McDonald demonstrated she belongs in the rotation for 2025. The Fever play again this week without Clark, so watch how this team keeps building something special. Every game teaches them they can compete with anyone in the league. The Washington Mystics learned something important that night. Bullies don't always win. Sometimes the team you pick on comes back for revenge. Show the team your support by commenting, "I've got the Fever" below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.